All right. Shalom, shalom. Let's get into it. Let's give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Awashar. Double honor to the apostles, brothers, and elders, and great millstone. Shalom to the house of the elect. So we're going to get right to this lesson. Babylon had been in golden cups in the Lord's hand, right? Babylon. We're going to go in the scriptures and flow right into it. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. Let me see. I know I do want to make sure. All right. Okay. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. It said, But I had made Esau bare. Read again, Jeremiah 49, verse 10. But I had made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret place, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is full, and his brother and his neighbor, and he is not. Right. You know, let's read it again. Let's see. No, let's go again. Jeremiah 49, verse 8. Flee you, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitant of Den, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him. The time that I will visit him, right? The time that I will visit him. Jeremiah 49, verse 10. But I had made E bare. I had uncovered his secret place, and he should not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. Yeah. His seed is spoiled, and his brother and his neighbor, and he is not. All right, let me see. In verse 11, leave the fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let the widow trust in me. For thou said the Lord, behold, thy whole judgment it was not to drink of the cup, have assured drink it, and are that he that should altogether go unpunished, they should not go unpunished, but they should surely drink of it. All right. But I had made it. Just read it one more time. Jeremiah 49, verse 10. But I made E bare, I uncovered his secret place, and he should not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brother and his neighbor, and he is not. What else I got? Oh no. Let's go to a couple more scriptures. Let's go to Jeremiah. No, what did that? We'll go right to this. Yeah.
In the late 1800s, Omaha, Nebraska was a booming western city that was soon to become #1 in the world in livestock meat production. In the early 1900s, nearly 80% of Omaha's population of an estimated 125,000 people had livestock-related jobs. These workers were primarily of European descent, and from 1910 to 1919, their participation in labor strikes and the First World War left many vacancies at the meat packaging plants. To fill the void, company owners vigorously recruited blacks in the southern states. There were ads in papers in Omaha and throughout the South that beckoned blacks to come north to better wages and living conditions. The wages that blacks were paid at the Omaha plants were lower than white workers, but it was significantly more money than they could earn in the South. Hundreds of blacks began to replace white plant workers, and by 1915, a burgeoning black community was established near the meat packaging plants in South Omaha and the near north side of the city. A new African American newspaper called the Monitor began circulation in the summer of 1915. The Monitor was published weekly with news stories, columns, and advertising that was vital to establishing a strong sense of community among blacks in Omaha. By 1920, over 10,000 African Americans were living in Omaha. Because of the rapid growth in the African American population and employment situations at the meat packaging plants, racial tension began to build in Omaha. This tension culminated in the summer of 1919, when one plant worker in particular met a horrible fate.
This was the period of red hot summer. This was the period where about that what it is, you'd already had the riots in St. Louis, other places. And now you're having them in Omaha. What happened was they had a woman say that she had been molested or had been sexually abused by a black man. And that's all that needed to be said.
On September 25th, 1919, Agnes...
You doubles gotta pay, man. It's all, man. This. Let me see if I can just boy just get number liars, man. That's all I've been making, man. Okay, let's go to Proverbs chapter 11. No. Hey, what is it? I think it's Proverbs chapter 6. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 18. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 16. No, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore, calamity. Yeah, verse 15. Therefore, should his calamity come suddenly, should he be breaking without remedy? Verse 16. There are 16 the Lord hate, yet 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and a hand that shed innocent blood, and a heart that devour wicked imagination, foot that swiftly in running to miseries, right? Verse 19, a false witness that speak lies, and him that soweth discord among brothers. Let's read it again. Verse 17, a proud look, a lying tongue, the hand that shed innocent blood. Let's go back to that. I was going to play.
Miss Lobeck identified 40-year-old Will Brown as the man who attacked her. Brown was then arrested and taken to the Douglas County Courthouse. Before Brown was even identified, a civic storm was already brewing in Omaha due to a series of inflammatory stories published in the Omaha Bee and struggles for political power between racketeer Thomas Dennison and Omaha's mayor Edward Smith.
What's interesting is that the mayor attempted to keep them from taking Will Brown out of jail, and he suffered from an inch of his life being taken from him. And that was really the intent from the very beginning, to really kill him, as well as to bring about the racial tension even more so.
On the evening of September 28, 1919, a crowd of an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 people gathered outside the Douglas County Courthouse and demanded that Brown be handed over to them. Inside the courthouse, a frightened judge and other prisoners sent a note down to the crowd, saying that they would surrender Brown. The bloodthirsty crowd could not wait and rushed into the courthouse to seize Brown. Once in the hands of the crowd, Brown was beaten, hung from a lamppost, and shot more than 100 times. Actor Henry Fonda, at the time just 14 years old, witnessed the horrendous event from a second-story window at his father's printing company across the street from the courthouse. The ghastly melee ended with the burning of Will Brown's body. An Omaha World Herald photographer captured one of the most infamous photographs in American history. After the riot, federal troops were called in, and for 2 days, Omaha was under martial law. Even though over 100 people were arrested in connection with the riot and the murder of Will Brown, No one was charged. For Omaha's black community, an editorial picture published in the Monitor spoke volumes. Will Brown was buried in 1919 in an unmarked grave in Powder's Field at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Omaha. 90 years later, in July of 2009, a man from Riverside, California, Chris Hebert, who has no ties to the city of Omaha and has never visited before, was moved to pay $450 of his own money for a marker for Will Brown's grave. Hebert said that he watched a special on actor Henry Fonda, which mentioned the riot and how it affected his life and his acting career. Hebert also said that he hopes people will stop by the headstone and reflect on what happened to Will Brown in 1919, so that we may never let ourselves sink again to this level of inhumanity.
Mm. All right, let's get back some scriptures and you see. Hold on for a minute. All right. Oh. All right, let's go back to Isaiah. What did I say? Yeah. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 15 again. Therefore, should his calamity come suddenly? Suddenly should he be breaking without remnant? There are 6 things that the Lord hates, yet 7 are abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and a hand that shed innocent blood, and a heart that devour wickedness, imagine foot that be swiftly in running to mischief. Verse 19. False witnesses that speak lies, and him that soweth discourse among brothers. Right. Let's go to Proverbs 11, verse 21. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. The hand that join hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Right? Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. It says, the hand joining hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. All right, let's go to let's see what else I got. Yep. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Lamentations 4, verse 21. It said, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwell in the land of Uz. The cups also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Right, make thyself naked. Verse 22. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Right, he will discover thy sins. All right, Jeremiah chapter 49. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 30. No, is it here? Oh, it's Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 30. Oh, messed that up on that one. All right, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 30. Therefore, shall a young man fall in the street, and all her men of war should be cut off. And that day, saith the Lord, behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord of power of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Right, the day I will visit thee. No, yeah. For the day that, I don't know, read again. Jeremiah 50, verse 31. Behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, power of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Let's see, Jeremiah 21, verse 13. Let me get this. Yeah, Jeremiah 21, verse 13. Behold, I'm against thee, O inhabit of the valley of the rock, valley and rock of the plain, said the Lord, would say, who shall come down against us? Who shall enter into our inhabit? Behold, no, but I will punish you according to the fruit of your doing, saith the Lord, and I will kindle a fire for thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. Right, all things around about. All right, move on. Let's go to Jeremiah 49, verse 27. Jeremiah 49, verse 27. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I. Nope, that's not what I want. All right, move on. Let's go back to Jeremiah 50, verse 34. Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 50, verse 34. It said, "Our Redeemer is strong, and the Lord of hosts is his name. He shall through the place that calls that he may give rest to the land and to disquiet and inhabit of Babylon. And the sword is upon Chaldeans, said the Lord, upon inhabit of Babylon, upon the princes, upon her wise men." Um, see, nope. Let's go back to that. Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 34. The Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall through the place that calls that he may give rest to the land, disquiet inhabit of Babylon. Let's go back up. Jeremiah 50, verse 32. The most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall rise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his city. He shall devour all around about him. All right, let's go to Isaiah 43. Isaiah 43, verse 14. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 43, verse 7, no, verse 14. Thou said the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon, I have brought down all their nobles, and Chaldean whose cry is in the shipping. As we again, Isaiah 43, verse 14. Thou said the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon, and I have brought down all their nobles, and the Chaldean who cry is in the shipping. Shipping, if I'm saying that word right, let me see. Wrong one.
Ship.
Praying for good. Isaiah 43, verse 14. Thou said the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon, and have brought down all their nobles, and the Chaldeans who cry in their ships. I am the Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus saith the Lord, which made a way to see and pass in the mighty waters. Um, I think I read that too. I want to. Let's go to Jeremiah 51, verse 36. Let me see something. Nope, that's no. Oh, yeah, Jeremiah, yeah. Jeremiah chapter, no, Isaiah chapter 43, verse 18. Remember you not the former things, neither consider the old, hold on, the things of old. Where we get again, Jeremiah, I can say Jeremiah, Isaiah 43, verse 18. Let's go back to that again. Isaiah 43, verse 14. That says, the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon. I have brought down all their nobles, and the Chaldean who cry is in the ship. Isaiah 43, verse 18. Remember you not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Right, consider things of old. Yeah, that's what. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51, verse 36. No. I was gonna go right to Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 5. For Israel have not been forsaken, O nor Judah, of his power of the Lord of the host, thought their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Verse 7, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and make all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right? The nations are mad. Let's read it again. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Babylon had been in golden cups in the Lord's hand, make all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right? Babylon had been in golden cups in the Lord's hand. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 47. Verse 4. Jeremiah 47, verse 1. It said, come down and set in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. No, read it again. Isaiah 47, verse 1. It said, come down and set in the dust, O virgin virgin daughter of Babylon. Set on the ground, there is no throne, daughter of Chaldean, for they should no more be called tender and delicate. Let me see. Is it 9? Oh, yes. Verse 4. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Right? Holy One of Israel. Let's go to Isaiah 34, verse 8. Yeah. Isaiah 34, verse 8. For this is the day of the Lord, vengeance, and a year of recompense for the congregation of Zion. We got again. Well, Isaiah 34, verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and a year of recompense for the congregation of Zion. Ezekiel. No. Ezekiel chapter 25. Verse 12. Ezekiel 25, verse 12. Thou said the Lord power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Jacob by taking vengeance, had great offense, and had revealed himself upon thee, right? Upon thee. Verse 13, therefore thou said the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and thy demon shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, the hand of my peoples, Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger, according to my fury, they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12, thou said the Lord, power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by the taking vengeance, and had greatly offensed and revenged himself upon thee. Ezekiel 35, verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, say, Son of man, I set thy face against Mount Seir, and the prophet against it, and say it, thus said the Lord. How, behold, O Mount Seir, I'm against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, right? Most desolate. And I will lay thy city wasted, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because I had repudiated, had shed the blood of the children of Israel by the hand, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that iniquity have ended. We did again, Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because they had perpetual hate, had shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity. Because they had perpetuated, had shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their the time of their calamity, in the time that they iniquity have ended. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord, power, I will repair thee unto blood, and blood should pursue thee, so they have not hated blood, even blood should pursue thee. Right? Blood should pursue thee. Let's get right into it. Let me see. What's the place? Amos 1, verse 10. No, verse 11. Thou said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and 4th, I will not turn away to punish thereof. But because he pursued his brother with the sword, and did cast all pity, in his anger did tear perpetual, and he kept his wrath forever. Right? He kept your wrath forever. Zechariah 2, verse 6. No, 2, verse 8. For thou said the Lord of hosts, as the glory, he has sent me unto the nation which spoiled you. For he that touched you, touched the apple of his eye. Right? Touched the apple of his eye. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Who possessed the slayer, who possessed slayer, then hold himself now guilty. And they shall say themselves, blessed be the Lord, for I'm rich, and their own shepherd pierces them not. Right? Zechariah 11, verse 5. Who possessed slayer, then hold himself not guilty. And they say that they self, they say themselves, blessed be the Lord, for I'm rich, and their own shepherd pierces them not. Galatians 6, verse 7. Which time I got? Galatians 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whosoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right, that shall he also reap. Galatians 6, verse 7 is saying, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. Revelation 13, verse 9. If any man have some ear, let him hear. He that lead the captivity should go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Read that again, Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that lead the captivity should go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. Let me see what else I can get. One more. All right, let me go to Joel chapter 3. Verse 50. Yeah, Joel chapter 3. Verse, no, what do I want? No, that's not wrong. Trying to find something else. Just, um, let's go back to Jeremiah. I had something I'm trying to see. Can I go overboard time? All right, hold on. All right, we're gonna go back to Ezekiel and get that. 25 verse 12. Yeah. I didn't mean to be just for too long, but you know, it's just so yeah, man. You know, you definitely got a lot of pay, man. Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 12. I said the Lord power because Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had great offense and reveals himself upon thee. All right, thee. Let's read again. Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 12. Thou said the Lord power because Edom had dealt against, against the house of Judah, by the taking vengeance, had great offense and reveals himself upon thee. Hold on, let me see something.
Deal.
No, I said deal. Oh,
Distribute.
will you to give out?
Give out.
All right. I'm gonna close out with that. So right. Ezekiel chapter 25 verse. I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger, and according to my fury, and they should know my vengeance, said the Lord. Right, said the Lord. And yeah, I meant this not to be too long, but it went long enough, and I'm gonna have to play a little bit of it. Recompense. Yeah, play some right there, right there, right.
And that's all that needed to be said.
On September 25th, 1919, Agnes Lobeck identified 40
Right there.
In Omaha, what happened was they had a woman say that she had been molested or had been sexually abused by a black man, and that's all that needed to be said.
On September 25th, 1919, Agnes Lobeck identified 40-year-old Will Brown as the man who attacked her. Brown was then arrested and taken to the Douglas County Courthouse. Before Brown was even identified, a civic storm was already brewing in Omaha due to a series of inflammatory stories published in the Omaha Bee and struggles for political power between racketeer Thomas Dennison and Omaha's mayor Edward Smith.
What's interesting is that the mayor attempted to keep them from taking Will Brown out of jail, and he suffered from an inch of his life being taken from him. And that was really the intent from the very beginning, to really kill him, as well as to bring about the racial tension even more so.
On the evening of September 28, 1919, a crowd of an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 people gathered outside the Douglas County Courthouse and demanded that Brown be handed over to them. Inside the courthouse, a frightened judge and other prisoners sent a note down to the crowd, saying that they would surrender Brown. The bloodthirsty crowd could not wait and rushed into the courthouse to seize Brown. Once in the hands of the crowd, Brown was beaten, hung from a lamppost, and shot more than 100 times. Actor Henry Fonda, at the time just 14 years old, witnessed the horrendous event from a second-story window at his father's printing company across the street from the courthouse. The ghastly melee ended with the burning of Will Brown's body. An Omaha World Herald photographer captured one of the most infamous photographs in American history. After the riot, federal troops were called in, and for 2 days, Omaha was under martial law. Even though over 100 people were arrested in connection with the riot and the murder of Will Brown, no one was charged. For Omaha's Black community, an editorial picture published in the Monitor spoke volumes. Will Brown was buried in 1919 in an unmarked grave in Powder's Field at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Omaha. 90 years later, in July of 2009, a man from Riverside, California, Chris Hebert, who has no ties to the city of Omaha and has never visited before, was moved to pay $450 of his own money for a marker for Will Brown's grave. Hebert said that he watched a special on actor Henry Fonda, which mentioned the riot and how it affected his life and his acting career. Hebert also said that he hopes people will stop by the headstone and reflect on what happened to Will Brown in 1919, so that we may never let ourselves sink again to this level of inhumanity.
So you see, man, the perpetual hate. That, like the same thing that happened over there in 1920 in Oklahoma. Same thing. The Black Wall Street. They lied. And just it's just, it's just, you know, you're not getting away with all this. The bloodshed, the lie, the innocence. That's what you've been doing, man. They was getting together. We know how it is, man. The devil just, with all the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. But the wicked, I'm trying to see what. You're not gonna. Let me see. Let's go to that scripture. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21 again. Let's get that one more time. Can't get out what I want to say. That's right. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 11. That was just crazy. The hand joining hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Right. The hand on the hand, the wicked should not be unpunished. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So yeah, I'm gonna close that right there so you see. So we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shema Bashar. Double honor to the apostle, brothers, and elders, and great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.